We have a poll. It's a Gallup poll, and it takes a look at President Joe Biden's job approval. They do that during the weekend.
Right.
Amazing transitions.
That's a little bit better shot than his head in his hands.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But you know what? He's not smiling. And at 37%, that is an historic low for him. He was down around 38 last July, and he's been stuck in the low 40s. And as bad as that is, Will, let's start with you. As bad as that is, Ronald Reagan, actually, in the ninth quarter of his presidency, was at 35 when unemployment was about 10%. And he was able to bounce back up into the 60s and won re-election.
But I do think that Ronald Reagan, throughout his presidency, offered a vision of inspiration to the country, not just simply maintenance, not simply decline, but actually inspiration about where the country was headed, that I would suspect allowed him to rebound from some of those numbers. And I would challenge anyone to say, regardless of whether or not you're Republican or Democrat, what's the source of inspiration today? That 37% shows a country, and I think again, that's among Democratic primary voters that don't see a lot of sunny tomorrows.
Right.
Yeah.
All you have to do is think about that the tape piece, Pete, that he rolled out. The tape piece he rolled out is, I am not Donald Trump.
Well, yeah.
That's basically it.
And they're going to try to replicate the basement strategy of 2020. The least amount of times the voters see Joe Biden, they're counting on a complicit media I mean, look at you guys already talked about it this morning. They give the questions that he's going to be asked to him beforehand. They're prepared to rehearse this, play it before the cameras, hide him away, try to inflate the perception of him. Look at all these historic things that he passed, even though people feel it in their lives of how much more difficult things have become. And then just the cultural rot that he can't defend, that people feel. That's why I think we've got another poll here, too. He's got a challenge even inside his own party that I don't think we should ignore at this point. I mean, Kennedy Jr. has basically been nowhere, yet he's at 20%.
Sure.
And with an absolutely hostile media to him. I saw the interview on ABC with him, and I mean, they threw his family at him. I mean, Joe Biden has never gotten anything. And then they even censored the interview because they said that, they talked about vaccines, and they called him an anti-vaxxer. And then he said, they said, well, she's like, that's not scientific. And he's like, well, the government, they brought up the WHO and the CDC said that's not a fact. And he said, well, those institutions are captured. And then they edited it out of the interview. So, I mean, these numbers are interesting because the media is so hostile and so in the tank for Biden. What would those numbers look like for RFK Jr. if he didn't?
Does it show you the media is not in control? I mean, the numbers are going up, and I think people are bypassing. They have other ways to get it. It's us. It's other ways to seek it out. And plus, we have a built-in great BS meter as Americans. We know when people are full of it. And I think people are picking up on its own. I don't think they need to be led around.
That's right. A great example of that is Charlemagne the God saying that it's whack that there might not be a debate for Biden. We talked about that. Yeah. It's whack.
Let's watch.
The world is in shambles.
Aren't you embarrassed to be a Democrat?
America is in shambles. I'm not a Democrat.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
I'm not a Republican either.
Yeah, boy.
I'm nothing.
What about you, Chris? You like Biden? You voting for Biden again?
I think we could use a fresh new person on the
That's
seat.
why it's whack that the DNC won't let nobody They won't do no primaries next year, man. Do a primary debate. Put Joe Biden up on that stage with Bobby Kennedy, who's challenging him, and Marianne Williamson, and whoever steps up to the plate, and let's have a discussion, yo.
We've all played chess. The whole idea of chess is to protect the king. And that's essentially what top Democrats are doing.
With the Queen.
And that is what ultimately you want to protect.
But they know Joe Biden can only play checkers, okay? He can't play chess.
Right now he's playing Twister.
Or tic-tac-toe. I mean, that's it. So you better clear the deck, simplify, and hide him away as much as you can to have a chance.
Well,
But it brings up the question. Go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is the reason they don't want anybody else on that stage with him is you've got 105-year-old Joe Biden next to Bobby Kennedy, who seems really like a spring chicken, and he's 69.
Imagine if you were a spring chicken. Meaning, do you not think there's a guy in California who looks at those polls and says, RFK's at 19%?
Every day.
19% for RFK Jr.
Because Gavin Newsom could leapfrog him.
Absolutely, he could.
Why are people waiting for permission? Barack Obama didn't wait for permission.
Well, Ronald Reagan didn't wait for permission. When he challenged the sitting president, Gerald Ford, he challenged him straight up.
Kennedy
didn't win, and it made him stronger. I mean, there's got to be a Vivek Ramaswamy on the Democrat Party who's really smart and articulate and realizes people's anxieties about Joe Biden, that jumps in and says, basically a Pete Buttigieg of this cycle to challenge Joe Biden, who may not win but would make a big name for themselves. It shows you what a groupthink herd mentality the left has. They rally around Joe because they're obsessed with power. They're concerned about they hate Trump.
I don't think they can do it.
I don't think they can.
So look, you look at the Republican side. You know, every force is against Donald Trump, even within the Republican establishment, and yet the base has propped him up to these numbers that we see right now. On the other side, the powerful forces who are running this administration are the ones keeping Gavin Newsom out.
And you know,
the base doesn't have power.
And if Gavin Newsom plays that card now,
who's running this administration?
He thinks he's got 4 years. He probably says to himself, okay, let these guys fight it out. In 4 years, I'll have different gel, slightly grayer hair, and I'll give it, no offense, and I'll give it another shot.
Did you say mullet or gray hair?
No,
Okay.
I'm not. I don't
See,
do you think, by the way, do you think we're sitting way too straight up after seeing Charlamagne the God?
I was like this for a while.
Do you think we should just squat down? Do you think our posture is way too good?
Oh yes, sunglasses
Try
too.
that.
Right, that is my nickname.
Okay, there you go.
Look at that. Zoom in on that fine-looking gentleman.
To your point, I think that what the party bosses and the
Who are they? Who are they?
Who are the
There's
bosses?
a bunch of them on the Democratic
Who's
side.
running
They
this
smoke cigars in
administration?
the back room with vests.
Who's running? Who's the president?
Who are the holdovers from Obama's administration who are running this?
Who's putting this stuff in the teleprompter? Because that person is the president.
Susan Rice.
He forgot to put in Ireland because he didn't know he was in Ireland.
Well, that's a tough question. Where was I last week? But
the hardest.
Well, you got to figure that Gavin Newsom, who, if Joe Biden were eliminated from the equation, he would be by far the front runner. Somebody went up to him and said, Gavin, it's your turn in 4 years. You know, do everything you can to make sure these guys win.
Gavin should have responded, Chris Christie. You go when your moment. You go when it's your moment.
The time picks you.
Now, that being said, I do think all of you are correct that the Democratic Party does work in a very hierarchical fashion, a very wait your turn fashion. And then they may legitimately have that strategy because it rallies so well, both the establishment and the base behind a certain candidate.
He looks good, though. He looks like a president.
So to your point, though, Rachel, if he does wait his 4 years, he may, in fact, get his turn in the Democratic Party.
Absolutely. The only thing he doesn't have, it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh, a good track record and a resume worth anything. I'm a terrible mayor, an awful governor, but I look the part.
Well, the good thing is that doesn't make him any different than anybody else on the stage for the Democratic primary.
Right.
Fair point.
But I look at, I can't give you the definitive, the unauthorized version of Jared Polis or the governor of Kentucky, but I imagine they do have some positive qualities. They could go on the stage and try to prove themselves.
Or he misses his moment in because a guy like Wes Moore, the new governor out of Maryland, he's a Democrat darling. I mean, there are people.
But he is way to the left. Do you listen to him?
Where is the Democrat Party today?
Okay.
Way to the left if you're going to win the base of the party.
For the primary.
And Biden made that deal with the hard left, so the hard left likes him because he's been doing everything they want, which doesn't really open up a lane since they've already made that deal.
And that's why RFK Jr. has that lane. He has the opportunity.
He's the anybody but Joe lane.
No.
Now.
Yes. He is. Yes, but he is actually fighting on the Democrat side. Some very powerful forces.
For sure.
And there are lots of people who don't want him to run, who don't even want him to say the things he has to say. That will make a very interesting
I feel
race.
like we're a focus group that got pulled in from the mall. We don't know each other just to get our opinions, right? I just feel like this is almost therapy, right? This is, I feel like if there's anything I wanted to get off my chest, it would be the time.
Now's the time.
But I get everything off my
It must be a very fancy mall.
Yeah.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.